Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. You ever been in a relationship with a guy where everything was great, or you thought everything was great, or maybe it wasn't that great, but it was pretty good. And then out of nowhere, the guy says, you know what? I don't love you anymore. And then he quickly disappears or he asks for a divorce. Well, if that's ever happened to you, I want you to pay close attention because in this video, you're going to learn the 3 reasons why a guy will fall out of love. Now, the first reason is that quite honestly, a guy was never in love in the first place. Now, I know part of you is going, but Joe, wait, he was in my life. We were in a relationship. He even said he loved me. And I understand that. And I'm not going to fight you on that. But what you need to understand is that guy never really loved you in the first place. Even though he said it, even though he was in a relationship with you, he never really truly loved you in his heart. See, there's so much confusion around this word called love, and we throw it around so haphazardly. And that's very dangerous because if a guy tells you he loves you, in your heart, you believe that. Because especially if you have that love, you have that feeling for him. And then when he says he doesn't love you anymore, you feel duped. Because in your world, if you really loved me, we would work through everything and we would get through this and we would get back to where we were, right? And it doesn't always work like that. So very often guys who fall out of love, quite honestly, were never in love in the first place. And I know it, again, it's not fair. I know it's not right. I know it sucks, but it's simply the truth of how it is. Now, the second reason is very often the guy just gets comfortable. He stops putting in the effort. The relationship gets stale, or in his eyes, it gets boring. Now, again, not fair, not right, but it's just the truth. You know, Tony Robbins, one of my mentors, has an expression that if both individuals continue to put in the effort that in their relationship that they did when they first fell in love, there would never be another divorce. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I think one of the reasons that people fall out of love is they stop doing those things they did in the beginning of the relationship. They stop going out. They stop going to the beach. They stop going for walks. They stop making love on the pool table or in the back seat of the car, right? And all that fun, exciting stuff that kept the spark in the relationship, they stop doing. Now, very often, as you get up there in age, you know, middle-aged and on, you know, there's kids, there's financial responsibilities, there's houses, there's things to take care of, there's family members who have sickness or illnesses that you're dealing with. And it's hard to put in that effort, but that's what you have to realize. If you don't put in that effort, then ultimately your relationship is going to suffer. It's one of the things that my wife and I make sure that we constantly do to the best of our ability, because we realize that if we don't put that effort in and we don't value each other and love each other and make love on the pool table and all that fun stuff, that also our relationship is going to suffer and we're going to have problems. So a relationship is a lot like a plant. You've got to water it. You've got to nourish it consistently. You can't just do it for a while and then leave it and ignore it, because ultimately it'll start to die. So getting comfortable is another reason why guys will fall out of love. Okay. Now, if that happens, you have to realize that and you have to use it to your advantage. You've got to make sure you stay on him and say, look, you know what, this isn't going to work, and make him realize that. And if he truly loves you and he's truly the right man for you, he's going to put in the effort and he's going to get back on the same page, because that's ultimately that's what he wants as well. Now, the third, and this is a really important one, is this is when a guy feels that he's being taken for granted. Okay. He's not appreciated. He's not valued. Okay. One of the biggest things about us guys is we have big egos. Okay. And I'll be quite transparent on that. And so we want to know that our woman adores us and she loves us and she thinks that we're the best guy on the planet, even though we know we're not, as long as she makes us feel that way. And again, this is a two-way street. So I'm not saying you should do it for your man and he shouldn't do it for you. But if you do that for your man and you value him and you appreciate him, and you're not putting him down, you're not ridiculing him, you're not emasculating him, you're not constantly criticizing him, telling him what he sucks at, what he's doing wrong, then ultimately that guy's going to go, you know what? Why am I going to be in your life? You know, if this is the way you feel about me, I'm not important, I'm not a priority, everything I do sucks in your world, then you know what? Eventually, he's going to check out. First, he's going to check out emotionally, and he's going to check out physically. You know, there's this myth out there that guys can't be, you know, monogamous and faithful, and they're always looking for something better. And the truth is, if a guy is truly happy and fulfilled in a relationship and all his needs are being met in and out of the bedroom, then that guy realizes, why do I need to go somewhere else? Because he knows that the grass may be greener on the other side, but it's usually harder to cut. So when he realizes that being with you makes his life better in every possible way, and that losing you is going to make his life worse, then that guy is not going to fall out of love with you. He's going to do everything he can in his power to keep you happy and to make the relationship work, because realizing that if he doesn't, ultimately is going to cause him a lot of pain and make his life worse. So I hope you really get this, is that, there's reasons why we fall in love. There's reasons why we fall out of love. There's reasons why we pick the wrong guy. There's reasons why we pick the right guy. Everything we do for a reason in our lives as human beings. And so if you understand that and use these tips and strategies that we're sharing, not only in this video, but in all the other videos, well, then you're going to be able to put yourself in position to win the game of love. And that's really the goal. That's really the intention here. So got a little homework for you, a little mirror time. I want you to step out of your life as an observer and ask yourself, if a guy has ever fallen out of love with you, why do you think it is? Was it just he was never really in love with you in the first place and he was just using you to fulfill some temporary needs? Was it that, either he got comfortable and you allowed him to get comfortable, or you both got comfortable and took each other for granted? Or was it that you stopped appreciating him, you stopped valuing him, or maybe, you started emasculating him, you started putting him down, always pointing out what he was doing wrong and how much he sucked and how he wasn't producing? Okay. Again, don't beat yourself up. This isn't about making yourself feel worse or making yourself feel bad. It's about shining light on the truth, so that when you do that, you can learn the lesson that you need to learn, that you can use to your advantage to make your next relationship and the future of your love life even better. So go ahead, take that mirror time, look at these 3 possibilities and see how they apply to you in your love life. And then when you do that, go ahead and put your comments, questions, and feedback in the box below. As always, honor and privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Much